was born by the river in a little tent, and oh, just like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time running, and I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. I know it's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, and I know change is gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Now I go to the movies, and I go downtown. Somebody keeps telling me don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Now I go to my brother, and I say, brother, help me please, yeah. But somehow it winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Whoa, there were times that I thought I wouldn't last for long. Now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Oh, I know a change is gonna come. I said I know a change is gonna come. Hey, a change is gonna come right now. Whoa, change is gonna come. I see it now. Oh, hey, I see a change is gonna come. I said a change is gonna come.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome, 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 New York, New Jersey, mi gente.
Hump day.
I don't make that noise, but whatever that means. Cool. Now, I just want to hold up my phone because we are in South Florida, And I don't know if you can see that, but that green stuff is the rain that's at our doorstep.
I can hear it in the ceiling.
See that?
Wow.
See
yep.
what's coming?
I
And
see
this is not the storm. This is the before the storm. This is like when you get married and the wife takes the frying pan and hits you over the head, but you haven't felt the hit yet. You just see it coming at you.
I was talking to someone the other day, and I said, "How long were you married the first time?" He said, "Happily married for 1 year."
That's right. You got to take
He said
in
it
the
was
small
he said it was
victories.
the last year of their marriage that he was happily married. I'm like, "Oh, not going there."
That's okay. Who was that? Do I know that?
Anyway, happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome, WGHT. Everyone that's watching, listening to us, New York, New Jersey, all over South Florida and beyond. Thank you to you. We have now hit 1.1 million viewers on Roku, which is amazing in itself. So thank you as we hit
Little bell for that.
the end of hurricane season, but yet, no, we're still here in the middle of it.
That's because Josh decided to throw a party.
I didn't decide.
No, this is all you. This is all you.
I'm gonna have to sleep here tonight.
Yes, you will. I am going to open the sofa. I'm going to bring in all the food you want.
Okay.
I got to tell you, this is a bunker.
It is now.
And now they boarded up the windows. I don't know why, but they boarded up the windows, so there is no in and out.
Because I wasn't waiting to make a decision.
Are you from Florida?
Yes.
In New York, you know what we do in New York? We put a piece of tape on the window and said, I don't know why I'm doing this, but this is what we did. Didn't we do that? Yes. You see?
That's what I'm thinking. I asked you yesterday, and you said, all I want is paint.
I was laughing.
And then I asked
When
you
you asked me
again,
that, I didn't realize you were going to do it.
and then I got no answer. And by 4 o'clock, when the landlord said, do you want us to board up your windows, you walked out of the room.
Because I said, no, don't worry about it.
And what if? And then you
Yeah.
would have said to me, why didn't we? So I thought, you know what? They're offering. They did it. We didn't have to do it. No more worries about what if.
I lived in the St. Mary's projects on the 20th floor, and the hurricane, whatever, came through. And we were so high up there, all we ever saw was clouds anyway. And we said, boy, we could use a little wind to clean up this building. I didn't think you were going to do that.
I'm in Florida, you know. We got a lot of things in
I
this
got a lot to
studio.
learn.
We got a lot in here. So last night, I'm putting away a tablecloth from cooking up chaos at the end of all of our show productions. And
What
Linda,
did you break today?
Don't even ask. The entire set I knocked over today.
But the set was set.
Everything here. So I'm putting a tablecloth away, and Linda comes in the back and she says, so are you covering the computer? Now, look around, Alberto. The computer. Pick one.
There's 12 computers. There's 12 computers
I
in there.
said, no. She said, is Freddie going to cover the computer? I said, that is why we have windows on the windows.
Oh, is that
boards
why?
on the windows.
So I don't have to cover the computers.
We would be covering the entire studio in plastic. We are beyond that. We just have to, by the grace of God, pray that we're all good.
We're going to be fine.
We're going to be fine. And this is how you know our guest today is from New York. Because since last night, I've been getting texts. Can't come in, raining too hard, water on my doorstep, gotta go. Even people who came in said gotta go, and I'm thinking, is Alberto Moreira going to make it in?
He's
Heavy
from New
vibes.
York.
He's got a huge film premiere tomorrow night in Fort Lauderdale, the Fort Lauderdale Film Festival. And I go to look at my film, and he says, I'm in the parking lot. I went, and now we know why. He's from New York.
Now, where are you from? The Bronx, Brooklyn, Manhattan?
Born in the city,
In Manhattan?
in Manhattan, and raised in Jackson Heights, Queens.
Oh, I knew
Jackson
a-
Heights, Queens.
I knew
Shout
a
out
few-
to you guys.
I knew a few people out there.
You know the area?
I was in the Bronx. It's across the Throckneck Bridge. Or
I got family in the
Whitestone.
Bronx. I got family off Grand Concourse, 167th Street.
Oh, by Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, next to the stadium. Good times.
It was good.
Good times.
That was when it was fun.
Yeah, it's a little. Actually, I'm gonna tell you something. I mean, I look back reminiscing it and stuff like that because I got family there. But I recently went to on a Google search and walked the neighborhood. Totally different. I mean, totally different.
It's changed.
You
It's
walked
like-
the neighborhood on a Google search?
Yeah, I haven't been there in a while, but let me
do
tell you,
that.
it works.
I
You
do
take the
that.
little guy, put him on the neighborhood, and you walk
Seriously?
off.
I do
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
The building that I grew up in, Popham Avenue, was a drug den. They 200 pounds of heroin was seized, and I go on there. I go, what apartment? Apartment 2I. That's where I lived.
Oh, man.
wow.
Oh, Lord.
Now, were you there in the Grand Concourse when we used to do the Puerto Rican Spanish Day Parade in the Bronx?
I
Down the
wasn't.
Grand Concourse?
Yeah, I wasn't there. I have family that are Puerto Rican that live there and have participated and had.
I
great
was.
times.
I
You were
was
there?
In, I was in there with the unions. I used to do security for that for 3
Oh,
years.
okay. Well,
Somos Uno magazine. We used to give it out on the Grand Concourse.
and that's such a huge thoroughfare.
It's beautiful.
It would scare me crossing it. You know,
Yeah.
even driving it was a little. You know, when you were like in the middle and trying to get to the side to get to the site, I was like, this is amazing. I don't understand it.
Fordham Road. Remember
Fordham Road, yeah,
Alexander's on the corner. Big building, Alexander's on the Grand Concourse.
Yes, I went shopping there one time.
Lois Paradise Theater. I used to hang out there all the time.
Wow.
That's where they made the movie The Boldies. They were in front of Alexander's.
What's the Boldies?
It was a movie. It was a gang. You don't even know that either.
You know, he talks about gang life. Yesterday's show, one of Freddie's good friends that he hadn't seen in 20 years was interviewed on another show. They hadn't seen each other. It was like this great reunion that nobody knew. And he sat right there and they talked about all the old stories. But yet there's always more in New York. That's why I'm so glad WGHD is listening.
That's right, Montana in the house. Vince carries the last name to a famous movie
Which one?
played by Al Pacino,
the
Scarface.
The Scarface.
So is that your real name or is that your movie
This is the
name?
movie. Alberto Moreira has
No.
created a film, Heavy Vibes, about Vince Montana, the
Oh, yes, that's
story,
right,
the
that's right.
hustle, the music.
That's right. That's from the 70s or the 80s?
We're talking. Well, you see, the thing with Vince, you know, just so you get a little bit of a context, that gentleman grew up in South Philadelphia and kind of got into his own career-wise as a musician. He played the vibes. He was more into jazz. We're talking about the 40s, the 50s. That was the song. That was the pop song. And, you know, what happened was, as the years went by and he was able to establish himself as a session musician in Philadelphia, he got together with some incredible talent from that area and from that area and that era where they were just starting to do this R&B sound coming out of Philadelphia. One of the main producers at that time was Gamble and Huff, and they were just fledgling, starting with new acts and stuff like that. And he was able to be with these musicians. And you know, when you hear some of the songs like the OJs, like "I Love Music," let's say that's a staple. Anytime you hear that, you know, you hear it, and there's a dance mode to it, but it wasn't called disco. That wasn't really considered disco, but it was an R&B danceable song. Vince was part of that, and
So he was big in New York because I
oh,
Love
he was
Music.
huge in New York.
Was every club I went to, we danced to that.
Yeah, you know, that he. But watch this. He was part of a session musician group called MFSB, the acronym for Mother, Father, Sister, Brother, and they did so much music, session music, for so many of these acts coming out of Philadelphia, like Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, Delphonics. I can't even think about all these
your
names, but I
faves.
mean, incredible musicians. So what happened was, when he makes his move going to New York on his own, this was like late 74, early 75, he hooks up with these folks that have a small recording label. He pitches them this idea of a Latin orchestra dance group. They weren't into it. But then they found out, wait a minute, you're from Philadelphia, you're part of this MFSB, we love that sound. You think you could transfer that sound to the music if we do something together? And he was like, of course. Long story short, Sal Soul Records was created. The Sal Soul Orchestra was created, and their first album charted, and they were like, okay, here's extra money, let's do an album. And then the rest was history. And that's how Sal Soul Records really began its big
It's
club.
tremendous.
You know, people knowing, oh, Sal Soul Records and Sal Soul Orchestra. And like for 3 years in a row, that was the orchestra of the year. 3 years in a row, Sal Soul Orchestra. And the guy was incredible. So we follow him because of the music prior to the disco era, of what he's done and how much he's involved in Americana, the soundtrack of America to me. And of course, during the disco era, and then afterwards, you know, especially with music. Music changes. The people are very fickle, you know. 3 years, maybe 4 years, you have this hustle, which was huge during his era. But then what happened? You got Donna Summers, Gino I'm sorry, not Gino. I can't think of the man's name. Moroto. He comes in with Donna doing "I Feel Love." That is not an orchestral music. You hear that song? That's electronic.
Right.
That's all electronic. And now, what do you do when you used to have 32-piece band?
It changed, right? We had big band, you had old school band.
Exactly.
There's still nothing like the sound of big band, and nothing
Very
like going
organic.
to Broadway and seeing a full orchestra. The techno is great, electric band's great. It gives people a lot more opportunity to share their music, but nothing like that old school full band, big band orchestra.
But when
Mixing all of the.
But when they pop hustle, all of the age groups, the younger to the mid.
It was for everybody.
It was for everybody. All of a
Yes.
sudden, you didn't have to dance the hustle. You had to throw the party and put the music in there.
Right.
And people were making money left and right. If you were smart, like my brother used to charge $20 for the apartment that we lived. We lived in a 6-bedroom apartment. And there was everybody was dancing in the hustle. It was the craziest thing ever. And I love music. I remember that because they used to play that until the
That
damn
song
record
is
burnt.
incredible.
Yes.
You know, another one that's really, from that era and from the same label. This is Philadelphia International Records. That's the label that came out a lot of these hits. The Sound of Philadelphia. Okay, that's a theme song for a TV show called at the time Soul Train.
Really?
Yes. Now that
Wow.
song.
I'm glad you're here. I'm so happy you're here.
Let me
Tell
tell-
us about that.
Well, what the deal is that song was a theme song for this show. It was so well received that it won a Grammy, Best R&B Instrumental. Okay, that song really solidified that's the session musicians, MFSB. Okay, there's no singing. The only reason they added singing was because some of the execs said, add a voice here and there. So that's how come you hear da, 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 da. When you hear the song, you'll hear a little voice here and there, but it's an instrumental, wins the Grammy. Another song they did, it was a cover. It's not their original song, it's a cover. KG, you remember KG?
Mm-hmm.
It was on Saturday Night Fever. That's their version. That song burns. I remember watching, I don't know if you guys ever, I'm sure you watched Saturday Night Fever.
Of course.
At least once, right?
That they watch.
He is a living Saturday Night Fever. I grew up watching the movie in Florida because I grew up down here.
Right.
Freddie's life is the movie.
But that's what we did in the day.
And I
Right?
guess for you too. I talked to you in
Now-
your stories, and that is you're walking Saturday Night Fever.
I laugh because I'm glad you're here because I tell them stories
Even
about
how you eat pizza.
how you eat pizza,
You
the whole
fold that
nine.
sucker.
You fold. And sometimes you double fold it.
If you're-
Depends on how less time you got. But
Exactly.
But Soul Train was an icon, right? So I do a show in here called the Cafe Night Train. Not trying to
Thursday
steal
nights.
on Thursday nights at 7:30, trying to steal that
Okay.
era. And they don't understand how we used to dress up
Oh,
and we
no.
used to do the dance line
no, it was-
and
it
the
was-
music. So I'm trying to explain to them in the day to compete with American bands that Soul Train
Yes.
was the place.
Yes. It's a different sound, obviously, different demographics. I get it, but and that's one of the things, when you look back, we don't just go over Vince's life, which is incredible legacy, but we also try to cover, his influence in the music, but also what influenced him at the time, because, you don't live in a bubble. As a filmmaker, I would think that if you're going to do a story, a documentary on a person, you just can't just deal with the person. You got to deal with what's going around in their lives or in the world at the time. And, that disco, that genre, that music, they were all underground music that came out from After Hours. That After Hours in the early 70s. And let me tell you a quick story. I have a guest that's in the film. His name is Roy B. Started very young in the recording business. He was like, literally, I think maybe 18, all right? He was an accountant for a Roulette Records. Some of you know what Roulette Records, what they are. They were a huge, big label at the time with a lot of pop songs. Anyways, he gets an invitation on his desk about an event at a club called, I don't know, Adam's Apple or something like that in New York. Mind you, this is like 1970, 1971. So he goes, I got nothing to do. He's a young guy, he's in the city already. He goes to this place, huge place, dark, but he hears music. He's like, okay. Goes in, Da-da-ding, goes out, sees a couple of people dancing, you know, like a bar scene, everything's cool. And then he goes, where's the jukebox? Where the heck is the juke? Where's this music coming from? You know? So he looks around and he catches somebody that works there. He says, hey, buddy, listen, where's the music coming from? And he points him out. Oh, you see that hole up there in the wall? There's a guy there playing records. And he's like, really? He goes, is there any way I can meet him? He goes, yeah, let me take him to you. So he takes him up there. He opens up and there's a guy playing these acetates, these vinyl records. Remember that one? Vinyl records, okay? He's playing these vinyl records, right? So then he hears him for a while. He introduces himself when there's a break, and he goes, hey, listen, let me ask you a question. I've never heard of any of these songs. And he tells him, well, yeah, they're imports. Yeah, we get them from overseas. And he's like, interesting. And then he asks, you know, like they build a relationship where he would go, the DJ, they build a relationship after a while. The DJ would go when he found out that Roy B worked in a record label. The DJ would go like on a Friday night after work while everybody was gone, and Roy gave him the permission to kind of look at what the new acetates were at the time, and he would pick songs that he would say, hey man, this would be good for the club, can we? And he's like, yeah, go ahead, and whatever, and stuff like that. So we're talking with people in this film that was there from the beginning, and I couldn't have been more pleased to have someone like Roy B, a DJ also of old school, Luis Mario, Rizzo, another one that started back in when there was no mixer. They didn't have a mixer. They just had two turntables and they threw their music down there.
Well, let's take a commercial break. When we come back, let's play the film that you sent me.
Sure.
We'll play that when we get back from a commercial break. I think he's in it as well.
Okay.
Got some nice interviews in that. So we're going to take a quick break. 888-994-4995, Studio A. More to come with Heavy Vibes, the film, Alberto Moreira, the Vince Montana Retrospect. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Planning for the future should not be painful and needs to be discussed. From health, family, finances, allow qualified professionals to aid in your planning. Luhu Advisors have been serving South Florida for over 30 years. A licensed real estate broker, insurance agent, assisted living administrator, and certified senior advisor, Paul Solomon is the most qualified and well-rounded advisor for any task. Specializing in real estate, long-term care, life insurance and annuities, Social Security, government benefits, and senior housing. Luhu Advisors. Let us help you. Known for his Art Deco Cubist style and compositions with dancing saturated color, Ken Bieberman has lived and breathed art his whole life. From the early 80s, he's influenced the Art Deco district of Miami Beach. Featured in numerous restoration projects, hotels, galleries, and clubs, Bieberman creates for everyday folks and celebrity clientele. He's also the proprietor of Art Repro, a giclée and scanning company in Pompano Beach. When it comes to scanning high resolution, size is not an issue. Professionally scanning art up to 10 feet and 64 inches in width, Art Repro utilizes state-of-the-art equipment. On quality canvas or paper, archival ink and printing mediums are put to use. Art Repro ensures colors are true and every nuance of the art is captured, including the canvas weave. Perfection is the priority. Contact artist Ken Bieberman today at 954-547-0095 or visit his website www.artrepro.net.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties, open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
Love the Brooklyn Cafe? Don't miss out on some of the latest merch we have available. Need a new shirt? The Brooklyn Cafe has you covered. We have a variety of shirts in all sizes, ranging from the classic cafe shirt to the highly coveted colorful hot dog shirt. Need something for cold weather? Why not grab one of our cafe hoodies? Or you can snuggle up with one of our soft silk touch fabric blankets. The Brooklyn Cafe has everything you need, from clothing about the show to our signature coffee blends and mugs. Get it while supplies last.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
He deserves to be awarded the Grammy. He does. He's
I
that
look
good.
at Vince Montana as the white Quincy Jones.
You guys have heard of Salsa Orchestra?
What?
Come
Yes.
on, you kidding me?
Yes. Hello.
Hey, genius. Dance was my passion. Every night there was a place to go, and it was never enough.
No one has come up to what my dad put out there.
The Grammys absolutely at least recognize this incredible maestro.
The fans of this music will never forget what he did.
It's amazing because all that sets up what you hear and see now. It might not be direct, it's indirect, but all of that, you know, the Finding All-Stars and everything else that we've done in the day created everything you see now. And what gets to me is that the kids, they don't understand it. They hear music, they hear rap, all of that stuff came from these guys.
But I have to ask you, why did you make this movie? And then how did you get into making the movie?
That's a good question. And believe me, you're not the first that has asked me that.
I mean, that's a huge, it looks amazing. But
thank you. A lot of people ask me, like, first of all, I didn't even know this man existed. And I think that's the key right there. I said, that's it. That's what we're talking about. Because, you know, all right, so you do a documentary, you have an idea, you pick a subject, at least with me, the way I was going was I'm going to do something that I enjoy. Because I already anticipated this was going to take a while. This was not I'll do this in 10 weeks and all that. No, this is going to be something deep, especially once I did the research on Vince. Now, why I picked Vince was I knew I wanted to do music, so I did music. I knew I wanted to do dance music, so I was kind of getting close to where I wanted to do. Then it was like disco. You know, disco, when you hear disco, many people have a lot of negative kind of like connotation with it because they're like, oh, you know, that was such a little fad, you know, and it was only for a couple of years. And, you know, at the end, there was this big brouhaha of a backlash against disco. So I always felt that it wasn't an era of music that was treated with the respect that it was due, you know? And there was a lot of great talent during that time that their music just evolved into that genre, and they just did well. I mean, when you look at someone like a Gloria Gaynor and even a Carol Williams, and you know, a lot of these artists, a lot of them started off, you know, probably more R&B. Some of them came out of the gospel, you know, background, and you know, their voices were incredible. Lolita Holloway, I know I'm going a little bit around here and there, but just bear with me. Lolita Holloway, if you ever hear her song Dreaming, or especially Dreaming, there is a scene I'm sorry. There's a part there that she just goes off, and you feel like you're in church. You feel like you're in a church, but she's talking about her man, and that she does not mess with anybody else. You got your man, and I got my man. But the way she's saying it, like I'm like, my hairs are going up right now, because of the way she's singing it with passion. You know. You have another one. I don't know. This was a little bit more forward, but if you ever heard of Dan Hartman, okay, now this is a little. Now we're talking little 80s now, but he did a song called "Relight My Fire," and that song, if you hear Vertigo, "Relight My Fire," Vertigo. If you hear that whole song, there is a section where Alita Holloway sings there, and she blows the house down. She doesn't do the whole song, but the song takes you up to a level. She destroys you, and then it goes back. So you have these incredible talent that I think, needed more deserving. And with Vince, I was looking for a documentary about that era. So I started doing research. And one of the films that I came across, which I don't have a problem recommending when I see good stuff, and this film is called The Godfather of Disco. It came out in 2007, and it's on YouTube. You can find it. And Vince does an interview there. They ask him his stuff because he did a song. Well, I don't say he did it. So he was part of a song with MFSB that, if you're into that era and then you know about the history of dance music, you know this song from the back of your head. It's called "Love Is the Message" from MFSB. And that song, it's like it got nominated. It's in the Disco Hall of Fame. It was the first song that was nominated. It went in because everybody that was in that era that knows that song, they know that is a classic song. So they were talking to Vince about that, and I go, wow, I didn't know Vince was in this song. I didn't know he wasn't part of this. And when I started doing more research on him, I said, this is the guy I'm doing the film on. Nobody knows he does this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knows he's done this.
But you did this on the side. This is not your full-time
No.
day job.
No. So yeah, it was a challenge. I have, let's call it a 9-to-5 job. I'm a broadcast professional at a local station here in Miami. I've been there for like 39 years, and I've been very, very thankful that they've been very supportive.
It's an amazing career to stay at the same station that long, major network.
Crazy.
Congratulations to you
Thank you.
for that is amazing in itself.
Thank you.
And now you're making a documentary on the side, as if you have time, married, over 30 years, raising 3 kids. You got a lot going on, but yet you still did this. And then to top it off, you got nominated for the Fort Lauderdale International Film.
It's very nice. It's very humbling, just being an official selection and just having this. Originally, this was not the plan. Originally, when I started this project, the landscape of the film industry in the distribution area was already starting to change. Mind you, I started in 2018, all right? This was before Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Hulu. That other outlet was just starting. So I knew there was going to be some changes, and I had to train myself. Just because I was in broadcasting doesn't mean I knew what was filmmaking and the distribution side. So I had to teach myself, and thank God I found a couple of mentors that were giving, and I tell you, that's so important. And then I went in 2019, I went to Santa Monica. Every year the film industry has a market called the American Film Market in Santa Monica, and there's buyers and sellers of films. So I said to my wife, I said, let's go. You'll have a good time. You go to a little California, we'll do a little Hollywood, and I'll be there a couple of days, and I'll see what the business is. And they were already talking about it. All the seminars that we went to, there's a big change on the horizon. If you're a filmmaker, that's good, but be prepared for the change. And thank goodness I went there. That was the best investment we did as a company to go there, because we're in a position now that this is great with the festival. And even that wasn't even part of the plans. A couple of people suggested, after watching the film, because I had shown it to a couple of key people, and they said, maybe you really should put it in a festival just to see who bites, And boom, these guys bit, and we're very thankful, very super thankful. So yeah, it was a big learning curve. It was, we will try to prepare ourselves on that, but just having the film being recognized is going to be great, and we're going to have such a great time tomorrow. This weather is going to be
It'll be gone by tomorrow, for sure.
We're having Little Hollywood. Little Hollywood's coming to Fort Lauderdale. We got red carpet, we got video, we got photographers, we got the, DJ, we got open cash bar.
Where is the event being held at?
Savour Cinema. Now, let me tell you something about the Savour Cinema. It is a beautiful, beautiful building. I really hope you guys, if you're watching this, of course, just go look at the filmfestival.com. It's FLIF.com. You'll find it, Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival. And there's a reason it's international, because it really is freaking international, man. I was looking at the magazine and I was like, holy smokes. They even got one from my home country, Ecuador. Yeah, shout out to Ecuador, man. I was tripping out. I was like, look at this. This is beautiful. So you got a whole bunch of them. Now watch this. I know in New York you don't have the magazine, but watch this. This is pretty cool because we love this music, right? So they put us on page 70, right? So we're like, okay, cool. Page 70 looks good. And it looks really good. And man, they did a nice job on this magazine. So this is us, right? I don't know if you can see this. This is us.
Looking nice.
Real nice. Little info on it. There's a little QR if you want to get tickets. Obviously. Look what's next to us. We got Vanilla Ice next to us. I love it. So I mean, like if you're into the music, man, we are hooked up big time. But the Savour Cinema, let me tell you something. They're just not into the film festival. They do events all year long, which is pretty cool because they are art cinema, and they also have this beautiful patio right next door that's covered. Man, you could do events there. I know somebody that got married there and they used the theater. Oh, no. The place is gorgeous, gorgeous.
He's marketing it himself.
No, I'm telling you.
How can people get tickets?
Let me tell you. Go on the website. Just go to the Fort Lauderdale Film Festival, Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival. Just do a search. It's very simple. Go to documentary. It's tomorrow, Thursday, Savour Cinema, 7:30. You're going to see Heavy Vibes, order tickets. But remember, here's the deal. 6:30 is the cocktail hour. That's where you want to go. You want to go there because we want to get you nicely dancing, have a little alcohol in you. Coffee, too. We're going to have coffee. So if you don't drink, that's okay. But I'm going to tell you something right now. Freddie does incredible.
Nothing like Freddie's
incredible coffee. I love
like
Freddie.
Freddie's coffee.
I just met him, and I got to tell you something. You need to buy his coffee.
Alberto Barrera, we're going to take another commercial break. When we come back, we're going to wrap up this hour on WGHT. Stay tuned. Give us a call. Any questions you have about Heavy Vibes, anything about New York, film industry, disco, dance. I got to tell you, I love Gloria Gaynor. Give us a call, 888-994-4995. I grew up down here, Christopher's, all the things on 17th Street Causeway, going to the clubs. And no, I was not 21. Stay tuned.
22?
Now, Florida was 18 back then. We'll be right back.
When it comes to investigative services, you can't settle for inattentive or irresponsible services. PI Network of Florida is a firm that you can rely on for actionable insight for personal or professional matters. From surveillance and insurance claims to background checks and identity theft, the investigative services are extensive. With over 30 years experience and 2 decades of serving the community, PI Network of Florida is trustworthy and reliable. Call today at 786-768-4394. Trust your gut. Trust PI Network of Florida.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Meet Jay Harmon, one of the many artists held in the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery. Jay specializes in various different art styles, but his medium to work with is colored pencils. His unique style comes from being self-taught and years of practice. Jay pulls his inspiration from many outlets like people, television, celebrities, and many more. With multiple original pieces, Jay's art graces the gallery with over 40-plus works for viewing and for purchase. His many years of being an artist has given him a chance to partner with the Derwent brand, giving him the opportunity to try many different work styles and further his craft. Feel free to come down and visit the studio to view his work. Or if you're interested in your own J. Harmon original, he's open to commissions on his website, coloredpencilartist.com. Or catch his show, The Colored Pencil Artist, on Amp Media Productions on YouTube and Facebook. See you soon.
What would you do if you had a broken bone? You'd go to the doctor and use your insurance, right? What would you do if you had a serious problem with drugs and alcohol? Most people do nothing until it's too late. Your insurance can help you get clean and sober with the assistance of a place like the Detox and Treatment Helpline. Many times treatment is fully covered, so why not use your insurance to treat your addiction problem just like you would if you had a broken bone? And with the Family Medical Leave Act, you're allowed by law to take off time from work, and your employer doesn't need to know the reason. So there are two good reasons. You've got insurance you can use for your addiction problem, and with the Family Medical Leave Act, it's completely confidential. Call us right now and save a life.
Call 855-350-4504. That's 855-350-4504. Call 855-350-4504 now.
Artist Rosie Sherman paints her passions to share with everyone. Expressing herself through bold and vibrant colors, her suggestion and style are always in flux. Inspired by travels, nature, romance, and the human spirit, Rosie makes sure her depiction of women are strong and proud. Her landscapes illustrate the changing seasons in the diverse world that we live in. To find her artwork in the multiple medias you can purchase, visit rosiesherman.pixels.com.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
There's nothing wrong with my bell.
Your bell is fine. What is National Scrapple Day?
You know what a scrapple is?
What's a scrapple?
I thought you said Snapple. Remember Snapple?
It's like a Snapple versus
It's
a
not
Scrapple?
a Snapple, it's a Scrapple.
What's a Scrapple?
It's when you wrestle.
Really? No, you made that up.
Yeah, so what? Nobody knows.
Anyway, we are back. Hey, Cece, he's heading to an audition. Wow, for The Voice at 2 p.m. Triple C in the house. You can find Triple C here on Thursday night at 7:30. Hopefully, we're going to keep our shows rolling tomorrow. We also have JC Dreesen at 7. Night Train at 7:30. We'll see what happens with all the music.
Yes, I think that tonight is the question because it looks like there's a wall of water coming out.
Yep, looks that way. But you've got this great big event tomorrow night. You're going to be there. Stars, red carpet event. Did you ever think, here's the interesting thing to me. You went into production, you studied at NYU, Freddie's alma mater. You work at this great job for 39 years. And then we talk about women changing career paths all the time on this show. And I tease Freddie even more than that because he's had 2,580 jobs. From New York to here, you name it, he's done it. From owning restaurants to bars, nail salons. And then here you are, different stage in life, doing something new. Did you ever think you would be a filmmaker, let alone have this great honor?
That's a good question. I think the short answer is I've always felt that I could do more. I don't know why. Ever since I was a little boy, I always felt that I could do more. I always felt that wherever I was in my life, that it was only temporary. Now, I'll be honest with you, I did not expect to be where I was for 30 plus years.
Incredible.
But and there have been times where I was pursuing, other places, right? That was no secret. But you know what? I really do believe that there's a higher power. I do believe that, sometimes God closes doors because that's not where I'm intended to go. And I can't argue with him. we're human, we will argue, well, whatever. But I'm not going to argue with him. And there are times where you question yourself, did I make the right move? Did I did this? Did I did that? Whatever. So the long story short, you don't think about those things, I guess. At least me, I don't. But I always felt that wherever I was, it was temporary. And then when it came to this part of my life, this career part, I'll never forget it. I was in the cafeteria at the station, And there was 2 things that happened in my life that really kind of told me I needed to make some changes. One was I was in a cafeteria in my break room, and I was watching a commercial, and I have to admit, it was garbage. It's a garbage commercial. But they got it on the air. It was on the air. And I was like, I could do better than that. And then I heard a voice say, then do it. And there's no games. I mean, I was like, I'm by myself in the break room. So I'm like, okay, that was one. The other one was, I have a very, very good friend, a childhood friend, that at the time, this was in the early 2000s, he was doing a lot of events as a DJ. And he would call me literally every 3 weeks saying, bro, why don't you get a camera? Every client that I'm getting is asking for a videographer. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Exactly. And then one day he just said, please, just get any camera, dude. It's just a freaking birthday party, blah, blah. So I did. I said, okay, I did it one time, blah, 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 blah. Got a little cheddar. It was called money. And then like the next day or 2 after that, I was in the studio and I was doing some work there. And I kind of spoke out loud like, man, what I'm going to need some lights. I'm just thinking to myself, I'm going to need some lights. And a friend of mine at the time said, I got some studio lights, dude. I don't use them. They're collecting dust. Do you want them? Yeah, absolutely. And then that kind of like, those are the 2 events that said, something's telling me you need to explore this. You need to explore you being creative more than what you're doing right now. And that led to taking a chance on myself. You know, you got to take a chance on yourself one way or the other. Listen, the bottom line is this, at the end of the day, the only person you need to really take a chance on is on you, you know? And I'm like, okay, let's do this. Let's figure out. And within a month, you know, I did that party. I did a little demo reel on my little Mac on iMovie. I said, okay, so let me think. I want clients. Where's the money? This is what I'm thinking. Where's the money? Art galleries. Yeah, let's go to art galleries. There's money there. So I go there. I went to like 20 art galleries. And one small gallery, the owner wasn't there, but the sister was, the owner. She goes, oh, my brother loves promotion and stuff like that. Come tomorrow. He'll be here. And I said, okay, great. Can you give him this pamphlet? Just let him know that, you know, someone came, they want to talk to him, just so he has something to look at. She goes, no problem. And here's where I think a lot of people drop the ball. You don't do follow-ups. You don't do follow-ups. The next day, I came to do the follow-up. Now, he might have said, look, I'm not interested, but I go in, and this man, his hair is on fire. And it's a good hair on fire because he was busy. He was going around, you know, doing his thing. He was talking to clients. I'm like, oh, shoot, man, did I do a mistake here? Is he even going to talk to me? And he goes, okay, you're Alberto, right? You're the one that my sister told me. Okay, what do you got? And he gave me like 5-10 minutes. That relationship has been for 18 years. Wow. That's my main client, the biggest client that I have, you know, in my agency business. And because of that, I was able to hone my skills to actually think, 20 years later, can I do a feature? You know?
It just takes one. We say that all the time.
I always say that too. Just takes one.
He says it only takes one. Believe in yourself more than anything else. Because if you don't, he's sat here before and he says, why do I believe in you more than you believe in you?
That's tough. I'm telling you, I don't want to say I have a problem with that, but it hurts. Let's put it this way. It hurts me to my soul when I talk to people and I have more belief in them. But I guess in a way it's good because sometimes people see things in you that you don't, you know, and sometimes you have to fake it, man. It's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you have to kind of fake it, you know, that you've arrived. But you know what? Your subconscious mind will work. Your subconscious mind will work and figure out a way to get you there. And I'm telling you, I am a living proof of that.
I love the fact that he listens to the voices in his head too.
Well, you know, I mean, you've been doing it. You've been doing it such a long time. I attribute success to length of doing what you do, because you wouldn't be successful if you weren't doing it this long. And creatives have no time limit. You do one thing, and you're going to improve on that one thing, which opens up another door to another thing. I watched on HBO last night, Willie Mays, the Willie Mays story. It's on HBO. Check it out. I'm going to tell you, I cried through this thing. I grew up watching this man play ball. And he was traded from the Giants to the Mets because the Giants had no money. They couldn't pay him.
They were
So
tough.
he wanted to retire in San Francisco. And the lady that owned the Mets, she said, no, where you
Oh, I
going?"
remember her.
Yeah, Mrs.
Peyton. I think it's Peyton something. Yeah.
She said, come on, Willie, New York wants you. And they embraced this man. I think he plays for 2 years. He retired at the age of 42. And they asked Willie if he thought he was the greatest ball player ever. And he says, that's not what, I don't look at life that way. I'm a creative. I went out there and every day I wanted to be better. And I'm listening to what you're saying. And you wouldn't be doing what you're doing for over 30 years if you weren't the creative, you weren't the best at what you do.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, we have a saying in here when we started. Dawn brought, and her daughter brought in all of these producers from colleges 7 years ago. True?
True.
Over 300. We've placed them all over the place for jobs and work and everything else. And the one thing that we always told them is when I ask you who's the best at what you do, you got to say me. Now, a lot of people say, that sounds like I'm being a little bit too much coochie because I shouldn't act that way. You should act that way because you are the best and time is on your side. But Mama Ali, Muhammad Ali's wife, is a good friend of the show, and she comes in here, and I always told her, legacy isn't what you set out to do. It's how time picks you. Time will give you your legacy, and your legacy is about to be birthed on what you've done, on everything you've done. And everybody's going to come out and says, you know something? It's about time that you caught up to what's really happening around you. And that's why I tell people, I believe more in you than you believe in yourself. I don't mean that as an insult.
Right.
I just mean it as truth to wake them up.
But I love to hear it from a male perspective. We hear all the time from women, change of life, kids grow up, new careers, new pivoting, positioning, whatever you want to call it. Time to believe in me. But we don't often get it from a male's perspective. But it's the creative minds that you see. You, Alberto, you.
A lot of creators. And the funny thing about creators when they're that age is they don't understand when you get to this age just how good they really are.
Right.
They just don't see. You were good back then. You were still in the shell, though. All the clubs, all the hustle was put in a lot of clubs. There was a ton of clubs. Roseland, there was a ton of clubs that were playing the music. And we used to go from one club to another club. I used to go home at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to work.
We gotta wrap this up, Batman.
Where are we going? We just got started.
Wow, we going on another break?
We actually got to wrap it up. Tell everyone the Fort Lauderdale Film Festival
Okay, Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival. Tomorrow, Savoy Cinema. 6:30 cocktail, 7:30 world premiere. We want to see you there.
You can get tickets. Get your tickets.
Get tickets, man.
Get there at 6. That way you can meet some of the...
Yeah, hang out. Don't worry about this storm. This storm is nothing.
The storm's passing by then.
Yeah,
7 o'clock right here tomorrow night. We've got the JC Dreesen Show. Yes, JC, I got you. 7:30, we got Night Train. But before that, tonight, everyone, stay safe. If you are in the South Florida area, stay safe. Do what you need to do. Bring in your pets. Bring in everything. And just ride the storm out. We're all going to be okay. We're going to see you tomorrow on the other side of this storm. Have a great day, everyone. New York, New Jersey, thanks for tuning in. Alberto Moreira, amazing. Congratulations to you. Heavy vibes. We're going to see you tomorrow. 9 a.m. drive time. Stay safe.
Frankie Miente, talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
You can actually take it to...
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.